I mean, I think when philanthropy was really kind of born in the United States, philanthropy as we know it today, kind of the turn of the century, the Rockefellers and MacArthurs had made all this money, so it was time to give some away. And there were just a handful of groups that popped up, the Salvation Army, the American Red Cross, soup kitchens, and so American philanthropy was really rooted in top-down charity, right? And great. And then the social progressives came along in the 20s and started to say, maybe it's not actually supposed to look like this, and they rabble-roused a bit, and things moved a little, but for the most part, things really stayed in a charity mindset for a while. And where we find ourselves now is that people aren't that satisfied with writing the check and then going to a country club and then telling their friends they did it, right? So now all of a sudden, particularly women donors want to be involved. And I'm someone who personally encourages that, right? So how do we create a nonprofit structure that allows us to engage donors without donors running the show, taking over, or we get so far away from the mission because we're stewarding and tending to the donors that we're not actually getting to the program work. And here's the best advice I can give you, now having done this forever, it seems. You have to have completely open and direct and transparent conversations with donors, particularly women, and say, Rita, I love that you want to come in and start volunteering at this level and do this. We don't have the bandwidth to support that. So I have to be a no to that. But what I want to do is figure out what you can do that can add value to the mission and not be too labor intensive for everyone else, because I know you want us to get to the work of doing the mission. So you and I are going to have to work that out together. You have got to go in the room with these women as a peer and not so afraid you won't get the check that you have to say something or magically build or create something for them. Because if you say you can do it, they're going to go, great, they have a program. It's built in, we're ready to go. They don't know you're running back to the office and desperately scrambling to make it work. So I have sat with more women donors than I can count saying, good idea. It's not actually going to happen, but it's a great idea. We're not big enough to do that, and even if we were, it's not the right strategy at the right time. And here's why it's not. But here's a modification we could do that could work. You have just got to go in there knowing that you know what you do for a living. Right? I mean, you know more than the people who you're meeting with, which is partially why they're meeting with you. And if someone's particularly headstrong and won't stop, say, I don't think you're going to be happy here. I think you should be a donor somewhere else, because we don't have the capacity for this. I've turned gifts down from people because it's not the right match. And when I'm fundraising, I'm looking, what's the lifespan with this woman donor? Not just what can she do this year because we have to make budget and then she's going to give a gift. We're frantic, anxious. I don't actually really deserve to get the gift if I'm not doing great fundraising. So I'm looking, if I meet with Rita and say, what's the relationship possibilities here, one of which includes money? But what else could Rita do? Who else does Rita know that where she could make a difference? And then I say, the where you could make a difference in this mission is here, here, and here. What do you think? And if someone's not on board with that and they just want to do top-down charity, then you have to think about, do I want this person as a donor? Or there are some people who just write checks and they don't want to be involved. They're like, great, send me a report in 6 months. So don't overinvest those people. They don't want to be overinvested. But I can't think of, and over the years fundraising, how many women donors have thanked me for the open conversation, for knowing they could pick up the phone at any time and say, Kathy, I want to run this by you. And I'm not going to just try and make them feel better. I'm going to say, this is what's so. This is where I see you fitting in to make all this happen. What do you think? Are you interested? Do you want to keep exploring it with me? If it is relationships and it's truly a partnership, then how you fundraise for it has to look like that. It can't be an unequal partnership in the fundraising and then hope it will work out later in the stewardship, because it won't. So your organizations have to empower you to be able to be direct with women donors.